That you can monitor what um, a user, how much each user makes use of Copilot, but the exact prompts you can't. But that's where you have your SharePoint Advanced Management. We could have a different we could have a different session for that. Okay, so I will just give a little intro into what the SharePoint Advanced Management is. So the SharePoint Advanced Management comes with your Copilot. There are a lot of things that comes with the Copilot license. So in your Copilot license, you get your SharePoint Advanced Management and you get your Viva Insight. Okay, so these two services or two applications or two go-to places makes it possible for you to actually govern your how Copilot is being used. So with the SharePoint Advanced Management, you could restrict search. Who can search what? What can each user search? You could restrict sharing. So when it comes to sensitive information within your organization, you could put restrictions on those. You could do that with sensitivity levels, but with the SharePoint Advanced Management, you have a higher level of security, right? So you see who is accessing what, who is making changes to what using Copilot. So it gives your organization that sense of, even though we have the AI tool in our organization, we know it is secured and we can monitor this. But saying what a user, the prompts the user is keying, no, that you can't see that, but you could see the usage. You could see if the user has more usage when it comes to your office applications. You could see if the user has it in Teams, Outlook, if it's in your agent and all that. You could see all that, right? But the exact prompts, no. Then the sharing aspect of it, that's where the advanced SharePoint management comes in. And that comes with every Copilot license. But in the case where your tenant does not have the SharePoint Advanced Management license yet, you have the opportunity to get the license for free for 2 months, pending when that is rolled out to your organization. And if after the 2 months your organization still does not have that SharePoint Advanced Management, you can get that free license extended for you to make use. Okay, so it's that for the SharePoint Advanced Management. Then you have let me mention of two. Yes, the Viva Insight. So Viva Insight would give you the analysis, the reports of how Copilot is being used. It could also give you the how much money you've made with Copilot and without Copilot. It gives you that. It gives you the difference. Productivity, when your return over investment for your organization, the Viva Insight does that calculation for when your organization had Copilot and when your organization did not have Copilot. And you would see that most times you would see that without Copilot, efficiency, the gap between efficiency in with your employees, the gap is a very, very, very big one. You would see that with Copilot, employees are more effective. They have more time to do more work, and their work are actually spot on. Therefore, your organization is growing, and your organization is getting return for whatever investments they are getting. So their profit is there, return over investment. So when it comes to running an organization, every organization wants to get a return for what the money they put in. You give out licenses, you want to see results for the license you are giving out. So the Viva Insights will give you that analysis, the report, and you see everything there. Then also in Purview, um, you could also manage you could also manage uh, what AI tool is being used within your organization. So with Purview, you could restrict the use of every other AI tool and stay with Copilot. And even with Copilot in Purview, you could monitor what Copilot is doing. People who is trying to share out sensitive information, you could do that with Purview, right? So there are different sections to it. Okay, we could have many sections and talk about all this and see how it works in your organization and how to have the best out of the AI, because pretty much AI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. We just have to learn how to make use of it and make the best use of it, right? Um, like a post on our tech learning page, it says AI won't take your job. It just makes your job better. So that's pretty much what it is, right? Before AI, many organizations, before Copilot, pretty much, because this is our focus today. Before Copilot, a lot of organizations did not know that they are lacking security wise. They have poor security posture. But with the coming of Copilot in the Microsoft 365 space, organizations are getting to understand, oh, we had this loophole even before Copilot. And who knows how many people had access to this confidential data. But with Copilot now, before an organization rolls out Copilot, assessments, security assessments will be done, and all the assessments to make sure that your organization is airtight when it comes to sharing data and what data goes out of within your organization. Okay, hope that helps. I think okay.
Yes, it does. Thanks
Well,
so much. Yeah, thanks so
okay.
much.
All right. So we are going to dive into creating an agent. All right. So I'm going to make use. No, before that, let's do some prompts with this, just the Copilot without the Copilot, the user without the license, right? Let's ask Copilot a couple of questions and see how good is the prompt goes, right? Like I said, there are no bad prompts, but it's always important to have effective prompts. So let's start with this one, right? So I'm going to ask Copilot to outline a 12-week curriculum for an after-school program focused on teaching basic coding skills to middle school students, including week's topics and learning objectives. Okay, so this is all this information we have here are gotten from web grounding. It's not from my organization whatsoever. This is web grounding. This is from Big Chat. You could go through, you know that if this, let's say this here, if this was a tax for an employee, This could have taken you, you're fast enough, 1 hour, right? To come up with all this, it could take you 1 hour. But we got this in seconds. You could go through this and refine. So let's use a suggestion. Can you suggest resources for each week? Let's use this one. It gives you, remember, this is the user without the Copilot license. All right. So you can do this. Then let's analyze a PDF. All right. So let's do this one. Let me see if it knows how to catch. It still gives prompts with bad spelling. So this is a PDF file, and this is a PDF file, and I asked it to summarize, and it just summarized everything on that PDF file. And I want to ask it to explain this in detail. Remember, this is without a license. So you will get the best. You're having time, less time, and you're doing more work. You're spending less time and you're making effective work. You're not taking more time and running into loopholes. You get suggestions that fit into whatever prompt you have in, right? And all this information, follow-up questions are from let's clear this, and let's say we do this. And start a new chat. Let me refresh this. So I want us to see, okay, yeah. So now I refreshed so that we'll see here, recent chat. I want to go back to this, and I can go back and have a follow-up question if I do have a follow-up question for this. Okay, so it's handy to come for everyone in an organization to make use of this because of the security and the efficiency it brings to the table. All right. So with agents also, you could get agents. These are available agents that are available within your organization. Microsoft made a few agents available. Let's look for an agent that we could use here. Let me see. Let me use this one. Okay, so let's add this agent. And you have the agent added. This user does not have a license, right? This user does not have a license, but you have added the agent, this agent, and the agent is accessible. Sorry. So, and the agent is accessible to this user. So any question you're asking here, you're not asking the web grounding, you're asking this agent now. Then you could go back to Copilot and you're back to web grounding. Or you could switch back to the agent, right? So let's let's create an agent. Okay, so let's create an agent. Since we do not we have a license on this one, we don't have a pay as you go on this one, so it's better we just create this, right? Okay, so now we're going to create an agent. So for this class, I want us to create I wanted to show us how to create an agent for an IT help desk. Okay, so all we need to do is, with your Copilot license, by the way, you click on create agents. So there are two ways. You could describe, let me describe one here. I want, for example, right? And the Copilot would now ask. So it's giving us suggestions now for the name for the agent, right? So log group checker, I would say and if you see here, it's modifying your agent, right? This is what it says. What that sounds perfect, and automatically it gives it the name. I could say let's see what it does. Okay, right. So it's now goes back. What specific actions do you want to perform? You could make examples. I don't have any use case for this this example here. I just used it to show that you could have descriptions, right? You could describe and also make it available. But let's take a look. When you click on configure here, you notice that everything you've imputed, the conversation between you and Copilot, has been translated into this. You have the description and you have instructions already. Okay, we do not have any knowledge base because we did not provide that. You could enable web search, right, for this agent, or you could disable it. So if you disable web search, only the information you give this agent, that's what you're going to get out from the agent. Then we have starter prompts. Okay, these are starter prompts that the agents, the Copilot already provided for us. Then actions, you could get this done from your Copilot Studio. Okay, but for this session, we'll be mainly talking about getting started, getting you interested, getting you wanting to do something with Copilot chat. So let's create this first before we create the one for the IT and see how this goes. Okay, so this has been created. You could now make changes. For example, you want to share this with your IT team or the medical team, just a group of people, or you want to a section of your organization you want to, or you want everyone, you want to share this with everyone, you could do this. Everyone, a specific user in your organization or a group, you could do that. You share it to everyone, you save that, then you can share this link with anyone in your organization. For example, this is my test person. I'm going to share this with this user here, and I would go to this user's teams, and all I just need to do is click this. And when I click on add, and ask it to go back to go take me to Copilot, takes me to Copilot, and I have this. So this is Copilot in Teams, pins in Teams, and this is Copilot, the application, right? So this is the perfect blood, and this is the one I got from the Get Agents panel. Okay, so with this now, I could make any change I want. So let's now see, let's create our own agent for IT. This time we'll configure it ourselves. So what's the name? Let's give this agent name Ask IT. Okay, and description, let me get my description here. So this is the description, what I want the agent to do. Pretty much paste. I'll enlarge this so we could see everything. So this is what I want the agent to do. Clear step-by-step guidance to facilitate onboarding, troubleshooting, service, and ensure seamless system access. Okay, so this is description of what this agent is meant to do. Okay, so now I'm going to give the agent instructions. Hey, you. Yeah. So this is my instruction to the agent. Okay. All right. So now for the knowledge source, I have I have a SharePoint site open. Okay, I have to move you to the site there. Thank you. So this is my test environment. Okay, so I have this, my data source. So I can either put in my data source or I could put in the entire SharePoint site. But in this case, I want to put only this data source. And for this SharePoint site, I only have one member in it. Okay, so, and there's no restriction in this SharePoint site. My data posture, no labels on all these documents. They are just pretty much for tests. Okay, so I would come to Copilot and I would browse this. I want you to take me to this one, and I want to make use of this data. I select that. So this is my data source for the agent we are trying to make now. So my startup prompts. So what are the startup prompts? I have a couple of startup prompts here. Let's see. And so we're going to have like 3 startup prompts and to see think this is not complete. Reset password. Let's just have two. Okay, let's just have two. All right. So I just want to have two startup prompts, and I think I'm okay with this. I have my description in, I have instructions I've given, I have all this in, I have instructions, and I want to create my Copilot. But before you create it, you could actually test it on this panel here. So before creating, you could test it as the admin or the owner of the agent. You could test the agent out. I want to have this relevant organization. Yes, thank you. Save. So like we did before, I'll copy this and we'll send it to this employee. This is test. So I have to go back to them again. Yep. Go back to Teams and click this. So add it to my charts. And open Copilot. I'll open it here and maximize this. So refresh. Where are you? A minute. Copilot. Interesting. Okay, give me a minute. Open. Okay. Let's make this smaller. Open with Copilot. This is taking time to propagate. Okay, it does this sometimes. My test environment can lag most times. Apologies for that. Okay, so we are meant to have that here, but it's taking its time to come. Test environments, and it's lagging sometimes. Okay, so let's use this. So this is test IT, and we're here. These are the two questions we asked. Okay, so I want to ask it another question now that is not in the starter, but falls within what we have in our data source, right? So what's the fastest way to contact IT for help within it? So remember when I said it make references? It's referencing the documents you are getting it from. And this is the steps. All these steps this is what my data source looks like, right? Connecting to Wi-Fi, resetting password. This is what my data source looks like. And all the information that you would get from your agent would come directly from that file. Because while we were creating agents, we made our knowledge to be this. Okay? All right. So that's pretty much everything about agents. You could, if you have access to Copilot's license in your organization, you could try your hands on creating agents that could help you. You could imagine how all these repetitive questions that you might get from within your organization could be answered by an agent which is made available in your organization. So no one needs to wait a long time to get a response from IT. The IT department would not complain about not getting seeing your request. You already have where to go to and how to get um, solutions to most of the questions or inquiries you need. Okay, so one last thing before we wrap up for the class, with copilots. Classes. So now I was saying the difference between the web copilot chats and the user with the license. So let's have a look at the work, having copilots set to work. Now you'll be getting copilots now can access information from your work account. For example, I could say if cap on all on the last 5 emails I received. Okay, so these are the last 5 these are the recaps from the last 5 emails I received without opening Outlook, right? I have it open over here. So this is my Outlook. Like I said, it's my test environment, so nothing's really going on here. So these are the last, this is my Outlook. And I asked Copilot to give me a recap of each, the last 5. If you see, it makes reference to that email. And clicking on it, it will take you to the what it's referencing. Okay, so you have 1 down to 5. You could now trickle down and ask even more specific questions within this. Let's say you went on leave and you were added to a mail thread, and by the time you came back, let's say you have 3 days leave, by the time you came back from leave, the mail thread has become as long as having close to 50 communications within it. You could ask Copilot to summarize the entirety of that conversation for you, make it even better. You could ask it to give you key points from that particular thread, and even down to stating tone. Who said what tone was this? Was the tone harsh or not? Just making it pretty much fun. Let me use that. Fun to work with. Instead of going through all the message threads, you already have access to, you've gotten a recap of a 50 message email thread worth of data, and you can respond or give your thoughts on anyone you feel that you need to come into. So with that, I believe we've covered pretty much everything. Yeah, I think we should have a look at prompts, just so we see it. So these are examples of prompts you could use on Copilot Chat, and these two, you could use this also in Copilot Chat. All right, so that's pretty much the end.